I'm going to just immediately dive in and start to just get in the shape of her hair. And as soon as I do this, now you're already starting to look down here because this is a dark value against a light, and that's a dark value against a middle tone. And the other thing that you want to also think about is utilizing a hard edge, okay? But let's just talk about values right now. So now I'm just going to kind of get in her hair, and perhaps she's going to be wearing a dress that is going to be dark as well. Okay, so I'm just going to keep her primitive. It's more about value control. So her sleeve would be kind of coming on down, and this would roll into the side plane of her leg and side of her kind of skirt thing. And let's just kind of put in the whole base of her body here with utilizing this dress in a very simple fashion. And we're going to turn her skin into a middle tone, and that will help her pop as well. So let's just solid the dress up. Okay, let's get rid of some of the lights that we have inside the dress, and that will make the image look a little bit more powerful. And then we're just going to tone down her legs slightly, give them a shape, and her feet are going to blend in with the ground. Okay, so now she pops, and it's not my richest black. You know, I sometimes what you want to do is you just want to save your richest blacks for the very end. So I can keep going with it a little bit. You want to have a nice sharp pencil when you do this. And now maybe I can just do her bag as well. So she's holding a big bag, and yeah, the light's coming from up above, but I'm going to choose not to put a light source on her because I'm kind of manipulating the values, and I just want her to pop against like that background. So she's going to be like a little flat. And let me just kind of push her legs like a little bit more. And her shoes, I just want them to blend with the background. So now right away, she's tiny. She's really tiny in this image, but she's popping. So, I could, keep working on her. But what I try to teach my students is that, yes, you could laser beam in on a small section of the drawing, but it's good enough if you get us just to look like in the vicinity of where you want us to look. So the vicinity is the tunnel, okay? So now if I start to come on in here and I start to put in my dark, I'm already getting sloppy with this. Now the darkness of the bridge against that light negative the darkness of the tunnel against that light negative space of the background is also going to help us look in the vicinity of the main character. So you're going to use the tunnel as like a tool as well. Let me get rid of that light. And so now I'm going to switch pencils. So actually, let me just dull this thing. So yeah, when I'm looking at the screen right now, it's really working. Sometimes, this is another kind of little caveat thing. If I just left her dark, she's kind of tiny in this image. So bigger sometimes trumps smaller. So yeah, she'll probably, pop even though I'm doing the value contrast. And even though she's small, but sometimes, bigger will trump that. So that's why I'm focusing on the tunnel, because the tunnel is a little bit bigger than her. And so that dark that I'm doing inside the tunnel is really going to help her kind of pop out. So now I'm just going to do this. Where I really want her to pop is her head and shoulders. I'm losing her body a little bit right over here, but then her body's popping again near her legs, near her knees against the pavement. So it's fun to play with all the little intricacies of doing this. Yeah, so now you're looking right at that space. So I'm going to come back and eventually make her darker, but let me just move around the drawing a little bit now and put some other goodies in here. So there'd be these bushes, there'd be this little lamppost thing, but the lamppost isn't popping. There's these little metal kind of fence posts. Do my 1-point perspective, there's a hint of a curve. It's being kind of covered up by all that ivory. And now I was also thinking about looping this thing up. I'm going to attempt it over here. Yeah, so that could also be my composition. I like that better actually, than that S-curve thing. So you can improvise as you go, and you tend to see things differently as you start to scribble in the tone. Alright, so just knocking down the bridge a little bit, making it a little bit more solid. I kind of like it already. It's very atmospheric and it's very soft. So the rest of the drawing would just be me like rendering, but I'm not going to render this out. I just want to show you the importance of controlling where you look first, second, and third. So now maybe let me just put down a little bit more tone for you. And then what we're going to do is I want to do exactly that. I got to figure out where I want you to look, second and third. So maybe I can put like a secondary character in there somewhere. So I'm just trying to get more of this like rhythm, try to soften this up, maybe make this like a little bit darker, and hint in like some leaves so it doesn't look too much like a generic shape up here. So maybe some branches. So I'm so not going to copy exactly what I see. At this point, I'm just going to wing this because I just kind of drawing out of my imagination and every once in a while looking at the photo. Pop this a little bit. You can see I'm really drawing like a painter. You're going to see like a lot of the raw way that I draw, and like the natural way that I draw is the tone. And in life class, if there was like a model here, I would so like be working with like line and doing like the whole line thing. But this is completely different. This is just doing like this kind of value thing. So difference between line and tone is style and preference, and natural tendency as well. Like what do you naturally like to do best? What's intuitive for you? So this is just like intuitive for me to do the tone. Okay, so where are we looking? We're looking right at our head, and that is like a very good thing because that's where I want you to look. And